found out today that my ex-husband is engaged and I'm unwell. And like, even though, yes, it was me that was like, hi, I want divorce. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. It brings up all these feelings. It brings up all this like stuff. And we have a kid and it brings...
Dry it up. Dry it up. You were the one who asked for it. The man took what you did, took what you gave him, took what life gave him, and then moved on. Dry it up. I don't want to hear it.
Brings up all this stuff around him.
I want to be a boss bitch. I want to be independent. I don't need a man. I can do this all on my own.
But you cannot just like pretend that it doesn't affect you. And I feel like people should be more out loud about it, because I wish that I had more people that were like totally honest and like super transparent in really difficult times.
Welcome back, family. Today, we're going to review this 37-year-old modern woman who decided to leave her marriage just because she got bored of her husband. Then, she gets jealous and starts to cry when her ex-husband got engaged to a more attractive, younger woman. But before we watch her cry over her ex-husband moving on, I will let her introduce herself so that you guys can see how self-centered she was just after divorcing her husband and understand the level of craziness we are going to have to deal with today.
Oh my God, hi. How are you? It's been so long. Just kidding, we're strangers. And you don't know me. And this is my first video on this page. Did I grab your attention? Probably not, that's okay, you can keep swiping. I'm bored and something is telling me, it's not rational thought, but something is telling me to start talking at myself on the internet and just like, let's see what sticks, you know? Maybe it'll make someone laugh. Maybe it will motivate someone. Maybe it will be inspirational. Or maybe it'll just be like, who is this? It could be any of those things. It could be none of those things, but we won't know unless we try, right? So in the spirit of not giving a here we are. So who am I? My name is Abby. I am a millennial. I'm also a single parent. I'm divorced. Love living my single era. Have no interest in dating, but do have some good stories. I was almost gonna give away too much. I'm gonna save that one for later. But anyways, back to who am I and why should you stick around? I'm on this
I don't like that. I've got some good story. I already don't like that.
like journey to discover my life's purpose, and I'm doing lots of different things to try and like sort out what that purpose might be, including watch the movie Soul. And let me tell you, I think the lesson is that like your purpose isn't like the thing you're supposed to be good at, but like the small moments. Did I like totally misinterpret that movie? Because I haven't actually watched the beginning to end in a long time, because my kid again is 5 and has a really small attention span, so we'll start something and then not finish it, so I could be mistaken. But anyways, back to the point. Trying to discover that at 37 years old is crazy. What is it? I don't know. That's what we're gonna figure out, and that's what I'm gonna bring the internet along for. And even if it's just one of you, and possibly my mom, who has burner TikTok accounts, apparently, Betsy, whatever, she can see this, it's fine. Anyway,
Are you
see you
done?
around.
I am sure that you heard it for yourselves when she was bragging about how she is enjoying her single life. Well, all that fake happiness went through the window when she learned that her ex-husband just got engaged and has totally moved on happily.
For the sake of being like totally transparent and just like real on social media, because everyone's so fucking phony and like refuses to talk about like real things that are like really happening. I just found out today that my ex-husband is engaged.
Try it
And
up.
I'm unwell. And listen, I'll be fine. But the only way out is through, okay? The only way out of this is through it. You cannot bypass it. You cannot suppress it. You cannot wish it didn't exist. You cannot.
The end of an era for you. The end of an era. Leave that man alone. Get off TikTok. We don't want to hear about this. Go deal with this type of stuff with your therapist. We are not free therapy that you can just blurt things out. Stop it. Stop it.
But, well, you can wish it didn't exist, but you cannot just like pretend that it doesn't affect you. The only way out is directly through. I know I will be fine.
Ma'am, this is not The Walking Dead. You said your mom has multiple burner accounts. Why not just go talk to her? Why?
I'm hoping that future me comes back to this and is like,
What was I doing? What was I
you were going to be good. You were going to be fine. And you know it. I know it. I know I will. And like, even though, yes, it was me that was like, hi, I want divorce. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. Like, literally, hey, sorry, play Taylor Swift. I hate it here. Like, I can't do this anymore.
Please stop.
Even though that is true, it can also be true that it f***ing sucks. It brings up all these feelings. It brings up all this like stuff. And we have a kid and it brings up all this stuff around him.
No, it
and
doesn't.
very little of it has anything to do with my actual ex. So, I'm here to be real. I can't live any other way. And I feel like people should be more out loud about it because I wish that I had more people that were like totally honest and like super transparent in really difficult times. Because this is what like builds connections and like builds like common ground and builds like validity and all this shit that we feel that people just don't talk about. And I hate it. All right, I'm gonna be done because I just, you know,
Please.
I'll be fine. Everything will be right. But
Most modern women put on a front on the internet while they actually cry non-stop behind closed doors. This is the reality of most modern women. They are unhappy deep down. And this woman is new to TikTok, and she is just realizing now how much everyone is fake in here. She can clearly see that all these divorced women that are cheering each other up put on a front of being happily divorced. But when she compares that to what is happening in her real life, she came to the conclusion that everyone is just fake and they don't want to talk about their real issues. This is one of the biggest reasons I dedicate this channel to keeping on exposing these modern women, because they are all putting on a front to romanticize divorce so that they can push more women to join them in their misery. I will not stop until I expose every single one of these fake, happy, divorced modern women. Now, the last clip of this woman that we are going to analyze is actually the most important and informative because it shows how messed up most of these modern women's minds are, how they prefer to follow what makes them feel good at the moment instead of doing the right thing. The clip is a little bit long, so bear with me here. We are going to cut it in 3 parts. The first part will talk about the infamous manifestation stupid theory.
I think everybody needs to go to therapy. I know that's not a revolutionary statement. It's probably obvious, but everybody needs to go to therapy. The number of times my mind has been blown by my therapist this year alone in the last 6 months of working with her, can't count on 2 hands. She's amazing. Not the point. The point is she gave me a book recommendation last week. This is the most recent thing that has been blowing my mind. So the book is called Essential Kink, and at it, very simply stated, it's a book about shadow work and like, you know, digging into your shadow side, your subconscious, and integrating it with your conscious side or your ego. And one of the repeated themes throughout the
I say a lot that these modern women don't really have a lot to give. Like the narrator was just saying, they're broken. They lie a lot. And so they get on here and they celebrate things in public that they're crying and they're breaking down and melting down over in private. And so if you go to the therapist and you can't count on 2 hands the mind-blowing things that she's saying, maybe it's because you're not very deep in the first place. Maybe it's because you're not a critical thinker in the first place. Because as in marriage and in relationships and life in general, you should be taking time to reflect. That's what a lot of music, meditation, that's what a lot of that is for. So you can take time. I mean, Apple, Android, Samsung, even on their watches, they have take time to breathe. That's what that's for. And if things are blowing your mind left and right, that means that means that you weren't thinking a lot.
The book is the following quote: "Having is the evidence of wanting." This book suggests that without actually doing work with your subconscious side and bringing to light some of your shadow side, we won't actually be able to manifest the things that we want and live in this synchronicity with all the positive experiences that we try and manifest in, because we have to address the elephant in your whole being is your subconscious. Going back to having is the evidence of wanting. If we have all of these crappy situations in our life that we can't seem to change, it's because somewhere in us, we actually do want those things.
Okay.
There you have it. Most of these modern women actually know that deep down, they want the bad boy. They are addicted to the guy that treat them like shit. And that is why they get bored in stable relationships to go chase after Chad and Tyrone. The second part of this clip show how these modern women want to keep their standard high, even though they don't deserve a high-value man.
Listen, I know it sounds a little crazy and maybe controversial to admit out loud that the bad things that are drawn into our lives might be because somewhere deep down we want those things. I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but let me give you a real life example. I like to make what I call the Mary Poppins list. And of course, in Mary Poppins, the kids are making a list of attributes for their ideal nanny, what they're looking for. And the dad finds the list, they give it to him, he reads it, he shreds it up and throws it in the guy, and he like it. Regardless, those kids made a list, and it was essentially like, these are my wishes, this is what I want to manifest, and out pops Mary Poppins. So that's why I call it the Mary Poppins list. But I made one for what I would like my future partner to be. All the quality.
But that was a movie. You see, Disney-esque, Hollywood-esque expectations. Why did it not stop at a fantasy? Nobody's telling you that you can't write out what you want, how you want it, when. But some of those things you can get if you work at it. But modern women don't want to work at it. I want a man that's 6 foot. A man that's 6 foot presents himself to you. Okay. I want him to have 6 figures. I make 6 figures. Okay. I want him to be, 6-pack abs. All right. 6-pack abs. Great. Should be the fantastic guy that you're looking for. There's going to be somewhere, he works too much. How do you think he got 6 figures? How do you think he got the 6-pack? Because he's working. So if he's asking and demanding that you work, if you want to be with him, then maybe you need to work. You're going to get on his type of time. But because you're living in a fantasy land where you think that this man is going to be your servant, he's not going to be enough for you. That's crazy.
All the traits, all the ways that they will make me feel in the future. Time and time again, I get on these dating apps. And is it the men that I'm envisioning that are liking me? It's certainly not. Not to be a listen, there's someone for everyone, but it's just not my type. Not the thing I'm looking for. They're just not it. So far away from what I want.
Remember that this is a 37-year-old divorced woman with a kid talking. Also remember that she was bragging about how she is enjoying her single life era in one of the previous clips. This means that the single life by choice narrative that these women claim is usually fake. They all want to be in a relationship, but the men that they want to be in a relationship with don't want them because they are already used up. The last part of the clip will demonstrate how these modern women get so easily influenced by this fake women empowerment lifestyle that the media has been pushing for decades.
When I actually did some of the work through this book, it became very clear to me that if I actually got the ideal partner that I'm looking for, I would absolutely find a way to sabotage it. Exactly. No doubt. I am willing and able to admit that out loud now. When I kind of went through some of the exercises and actually like wrote out why I think my subconscious might really be getting exactly what they want in showing me all of these people that are absolutely not my type, is to reinforce some of the stories that I tell myself. And some of those stories include, I want to be a boss bitch. I want to be independent. I don't need a man. I can do this all on my own. Yes, I embody that. I like that narrative. The other more serious and like a little bit more sad truth behind all of this is I think deep down, I don't believe I'm actually worthy of the thing that I want.
She's insufferable, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Just listening to her, she's insufferable.
That's depressing. But that's the truth. I think I can say out loud that I don't think that I deserve that. I don't think I'm worthy of that. I don't think whatever. And that's why I'm in therapy, you guys. Like, so yeah, there's no reason why I shouldn't have exactly what I want, except for that my subconscious doesn't believe that I'm deserving of it. So cool, right? But that's a really honest and real example of a place in my life in which I'm not seeing what conscious Abby thinks she wants, because we have to address what subconscious Abby believes, because we're getting exactly what subconscious Abby believes. It's a wild concept, but I cannot wait to get into the work more regularly, do the exercises regularly, and like start to embrace all of this, because I do believe that on the other side of some of this shadow work and integration with your ego is like actual happiness. It terrifies me, because that would mean that a lot of the stories that I tell myself about who I am would be completely unraveled, and then who am I? So I can't wait to share more with you as I get into that. Keep reading, because I do think that all of this will eventually help me get to what my actual purpose is, because I already think I know what it is, you guys, but I'm terrified of actually saying out loud that I want to do XYZ, because then everything would change. My whole life would change. Anyways, happy Saturday.
It is unfortunate that most women bought this boss babe, I don't need a man mentality. Even though these women know that they don't bring much to the table, they still think that they are better than the regular man, and therefore, they refuse to settle with the average man. This is the very sad state of the modern women today. It is always about how they feel. When you hear a woman saying how much she loves her therapist, just know that the therapist is telling her what she wants to hear and not what she needs to hear.
Exactly. Like I said, in the earlier part of the video, she talked about how the therapist was saying so many things that blew her mind. Ma'am, I can probably state just by listening to you within like these 10, 15 minutes that there is definitely work that should have been done a long time ago in your relationship, in your marriage. I think I saw a video of her recently, haircut, asking, what's going on? Where are all the good guys? Am I ugly? Like, what's happening? Why can't I get a man? Who's going to want to be with this? You're a problem. You need help. You're getting it, obviously, but there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of things. You can't just jump into a relationship without working, like without putting in the time and the effort to release yourself of maybe not everything, but a lot of those toxic behaviors, a lot of those self-defeating behaviors. At that point in time, you need to go sit down. I mean, you're sitting up here crying about your ex getting engaged, talking about it's not even about my ex. How? The subject line was, my ex got engaged and I'm trying to get through it, but the only way to get through it is to go through it type of nonsense. But yeah, keep on telling me how you're not coping and how you're just fine and everything is dandy while you're bawling your eyes out on camera. Jesus. Anyway, that's just my opinion. To the next video, I'm out.